Sir, the report on the first segment of Operation Razorback follows. The operatives were briefed by Operative Chip Blakesley on the disappearance of Cyril Clemont and the legend of David Knoll's mask, which went missing from the Urbandale Police Department. Operatives Maxwell and Tomer went to speak with the Clemont family. Operative Tomer discovered a family heirloom containing a drawing of the mask in the missing person's bedroom. Operative Maxwell independently deduced that the missing person had gone to the old meat processing plant. Tomer promised the Clemont matriarch to bring the missing person and the book back in one piece. Operative Joe met with Police Chief Vera Collins. It was reported that no sign had been found of the missing person within the old meat processing plant. Operative Mickey Adams went to investigate the archives in the library for the original Razorback killings. He discovered that the mask may have been tied to a demonic entity. It was believed that the meat processing tools would be needed to injure the new Razorback. The operatives met back up in a bar to share information. Critically, that there is an event planned the following day at midnight in the old meat processing plant. The book was revealed to be the diary of Charles Clemont, who was suspected to be performing magic to boost profits. It was determined that the operatives would visit Eliza Crawford, a living survivor of the Razorback murders. This report presented by Operative Gang.
Hi, I'm Sarah, aka Zero, and I play Joe Eastwood, the Chosen Playbook. You can find me on Twitter at ZeroRPG. That's SERO RPG. Cheers!
Hey everyone, I'm Matt, aka Rosenbagger, aka Rosie, playing Mickey the Flake. You can find me on Twitter at Rosenbagger_UDG.
Tomer, our mundane, was played by Pomander.
Hello there, my name is Ollie. I play Maxwell the Wronged. You can find me over on Facebook at OJWH Reviews, where I talk about films and TV and stuff. That's about it, actually, no more stuff. And I hope you enjoy the podcast.
Hi, I'm Chris. You can find me on Twitter at Finite Jester. We're playing a game called Monster of the Week. It's a Powered by the Apocalypse game, written by Michael Sands and released by Evil Hat Games.
All right. Welcome back. And we're back. Back in the ball game. Okay, so it is the next day. Some or all of you had wanted to go and talk to the witness. Some or all of you had wanted to do more digging into David Knoll. What does that look like? Who's doing where?
I think that Mickey as a flake would kind of know how a crazy person thinks already. So would most likely want to go and investigate this victim from the past.
Yeah, the hostage. All right.
As opposed to look up history on Knowles.
All right. Who would want to just split down the middle, do it that way? Half hunters go one way, half hunters go another. Who's going where?
I don't need to talk to the crazy person. I can go hang out with Tomer. We'll get sharp objects and he can look up David Knoll.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, I kind of want to have Maxwell with me. If you know a little bit about demonic stuff, might be able to talk to her about it.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, and so your badges will get you past the door into the Institute for the Insane, not criminally insane or anything, and it's just kind of grungy, it's a little bit sad, it's a little bit dilapidated, it has not been maintained well. There's all of your people in bathrobes shuffling around in their slippers and swatting and all this sort of stuff. And they take you down to the set of chairs in front of the windows as the light's shining in, and she's sitting there, and it's tough to tell. Maybe in her 40s, maybe older. She looks like she's not been well. She's rail thin, just a little fragile bird of a thing in a white robe, sitting in the sunlight and sort of staring out the window at like a tree that should have leaves on it.
Do we know what the specific situation was of her hostage taking?
Not specifically, maybe. She would just have been one of, because Razorback took like a dozen people hostage, mostly workers there, as he went on his spree, and then dragged two of them into the grinder with him when it ended. She was the one who had the most attention because she drew the sketch, which is here, that was featured on the cover of the big book about the crime. And so she had a whole, perhaps more attention focused on her than many of the other hostages did, and perhaps that's why she's here.
Interesting. Do we have a copy of this photo with us? Like, can we pull it out and show it to her?
Oh yeah, you'd be able to find it online anywhere.
Gotcha. So yeah, I suppose I grab a chair and kind of pull it up next to her. Does she like take notice of us, or is she one of those crazy people
No,
who just like stares at the sky and probably just like that's all?
Nope. She turns and looks at you as you bring a chair closer, and she, talks. Hello.
Do you know why you're here?
I'm here because it's safer here.
Safer here as opposed to where?
Out there. With
Do you mean
all those people and it?
Do you mean more of the factory? You know they closed it down.
She's giving you this just dead-eyed stare. Do you want to investigate a mystery? Are you trying to...
I want to show her the photo.
And she closes her eyes and just sort of like balls up, just slowly curling up into a fetal position there in the sunshine. She's just laying there on the couch, and she just starts shaking her head. Says, not today, not today, not today, not today, not today, not today, no, not today.
Actually, it's funny you say not today, but
no, not today, not today.
Today is the day, and I think you're the person who's going to help us make it not today. Can you walk us through what happened that night?
Manipulate.
All right.
I almost want to give you a -1 because you're being an asshole.
I mean, I can roll with a -1 if you want.
No, it's just a straight up manipulate. Let's see that legendary flaky charm.
Ooh, that's a 9.
Oh, that's right. You get to roll with sharp because you've got
sharp.
Yeah, I forgot that. Okay.
Everything's sharp for me. So that's investigate.
Okay, yeah. No, that's manipulate.
That's manipulate.
And that's getting her to talk to you and to walk you through what happened.
Okay.
And she looks at you and she says, "Are you going to stop it?"
I kind of look up at Maxwell.
Most definitely, yes.
Take me with
I
you.
have our word.
I'm not sure we can do that.
You got here today. You got all up in my business, and she just unfurls a little bit, like, okay, you wanna mess around like this? Okay, no, fine. Get me out of here, and I'll.
I thought you thought it was safer in here, though.
It's not safe anywhere.
Well, now you just contradicted.
I'm allowed. Dr. Navarro says that's something that I'm allowed to do. It's okay. I told the police lots of things that I didn't tell them. I told Dr. Navarro lots of things too.
It's okay, but you're gonna have to wait until we stop it before we come get you out.
We can ask
unless
to get you to a nicer facility.
Or you could come with us.
Yeah.
We haven't been inside this factory, and you're one of the only ones we know who's actually been in there.
Oh yeah, she's.
I whisper to Mickey. You sure that's a good idea? I could go wrong quite a few ways.
I look at you say I have no clue, but if we want the information and want to stop it, she might be our best bet.
Okay, but she is your responsibility. If something goes wrong, I'm not getting in trouble by the department.
See if we can get a few extra pills on the way out.
Yeah, let's see. Act under pressure to smuggle the crazy lady out of the institute. Who's taking the lead on this, and then the other can help out if there's a fail, and it's the same stat, so that works really well.
It was your idea. You try smuggling, I'll help you.
Yep.
Yeah. See if you can possibly, I saw a couple. Do you call them guards, or are they healthcare workers? In an insane asylum, I guess that line's pretty fine.
Orderlies, please. Thank you.
Okay. So yeah, see if you can distract them, and I'll see if I can get her out. So what do I roll here?
You're acting under pressure.
So that's cool?
Yep, unless you got a sub, it is cool. Yep.
Ooh, let's see how cool I am. That's an 8, so I'm relatively cool.
Okay. You're going to do it, and the help would only bump you to a 9, so it wouldn't make any difference. We've got a worse outcome, hard choice, or price to pay. I think you can somebody's going to see you. Someone in charge is going to see you, clock you. They were the ones who let you in, and now they see you taking her out, and they're going to like pause and not intervene because you're FBI and okay, who the hell knows what's going on, or you're not going to be able to get any of the medication that you want.
We get to pick?
Yeah, absolutely. You get to pick because that's your 8.
I say that we don't get the right medication.
So you don't get the medication, but you get out without. Oh, and don't you get the right medication? That's even better. Yeah, so
you shouldn't have said that.
that's even better. You've got the medication. You think it's the right stuff, and nobody saw you. Yeah.
Let's say Maxwell picked it up.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Just pass that buck right along. That sounds good. Cool. So we see you scuttling this little bird-like woman into one of the black SUVs that the department rents everywhere. Beautiful. Tomer, Joe, how are you investigating David Knoll?
Oh dear, how are we doing that? I usually am pretty submissive when it comes to Joe. I probably follow Joe's lead.
Tomer, drive us to a place where we can find out about people.
Sure. I get in the car and I start driving really slowly. And whenever we get to an intersection, I kind of just look at Joe, seeing if she's like expecting us to turn.
It's gonna take a while.
Yes, it's definitely gonna take a while. And I think we just end up back at the bar that we were at yesterday.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, it's great.
This'll do.
A reasonable place to learn more about a notorious local serial killer. Pump one of the drunks at the bar for information.
Okay,
That's
we go
exactly
look.
what Tomer was thinking. It was not pure
Sure.
luck that he got there.
So we look for the oldest drunk in the bar.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. I'm
So you start talking to Joe.
Oh.
Funny, she's not drunk yet. She sees what he's drinking and orders one for each of us, including the drunk and Tomer.
Excellent.
And we sit down with him.
Whiskey soda. And he's an old guy in your red and black flannel top, khaki pants, like stained. His fingers are nicotine stained. He's got white hair that's also looks nicotine stained. He smells like a cigarette from 5 yards out.
Smells like an ashtray. Yep.
Yes,
got
oh
it.
yeah. Looks like a butt, wrinkled face. I thank you.
It's not a free drink though. We want to talk.
It's never a free drink. Yeah. What do you want?
Were you here when the Razorback Killer was killing?
Like here in this bar? Probably.
What can you tell us about this David Knoll guy?
Oh, you typical piece of shit. Another guy who thought the world owed him something. Fucking world don't owe you nothing. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah. I mean, God, what do you want to know that's not in all the books? He was what? He was 24, never been married. This had been his only steady job. Everything I read about him said that he was one of those no good shiftless guys who, instead of settling in soft and easy on some bar stool somewhere, thought he'd strike back. You'll hear all this talk about some demon and the mask and all that. It's a piece of pig leather that got spat out the other end of a machine. Ugh.
What was he fighting for? He's trying to fight against.
What? The injustice of it all? He'd been getting fired from his job for being a piece of shit, Yeah. Well,
Just angry, I guess.
What about the Clemont?
about the Clement, they're just good for the town. Provide jobs. A lot of people work for them. I worked for them once, a while back. Eh, I'd quit before the killings. Wasn't for me. It was a dirty place.
Well, there's Cyril and Penelope. Is there any other of them around?
Cyril Penelope, he'd give you a rundown on the rest of the Archie's the dad. And then oh gosh, how many kids they got? 3 of them. Yeah. Zach, Sophia, and little Cyril.
And what? Penelope, she's 70?
Penelope's 70? No, she's like 52. Or 60. I don't know.
Okay. Archie, Zach, and Sophia still around?
Archie is still around, yeah. He still lives in that house with Penelope and Cyril.
Zach and Sophia?
No, they moved out, left town years ago. They were grown by the time the unpleasantness, as soon as they could, they got out of town.
And then they had Cyril.
Yeah, poor kid. Grew up in a shadow. I can't imagine being.
How do you say that? Poor kid.
Well, that did a number on the family. Penelope she was always a bit weird, but this made it dark. I can't imagine. That was just awful. All the media around. I mean, that was all anybody wanted to talk about with him. He grew up in Razorback shadow, I guess. Thanks for the drink, huh?
Yeah, you will. And I'll down mine in one go and look at Thomas.
I will sneakily pour mine into someone else's glass. It's way too strong for me.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, I guess, should we go try to get some knives?
Yeah, let's get something to stab things with.
Cool. So you guys make it to the kitchen supply store. We get this, like montage of, the testing the thing with the sharpener and all that good sort of jazz. Mickey, Maxwell, at what point do you inform your teammates that you've liberated a lunatic and are headed for the old meatpacking plant in order to relive Razorback's glory days with her?
I would say that before we go to live back the glory days, that what Mickey would think is like, of course, this is another great time for a milkshake, but I imagine the food that she gets inside the insane asylum isn't that great. So what I want to do is I want to take her to eat. So I imagine that knife shopping for Joe takes a long time. Very particular about her knives, and she has a bunch.
Sharp enough.
I don't know, Maxwell.
Down the store.
Maxwell, could you go for a bite? Let's see what she wants to eat. Go take her to eat.
I mean, it's not priority, but sure, we can eat.
I guess you can decide whatever restaurant that is, Jester. But I plan on just like sitting there watching her eat, and I want to use my move telepathy, kind of while she eats, try to pick on what's going on inside her brain.
Oh boy. Thanks. It's your standard like Rosie's roadside diner, chrome-plated exterior and all. That's great place for a milkshake. She wants a patty melt, and no, she doesn't. She wants a ham sandwich. I'm sorry. She definitely wants a ham sandwich, ham and cheese, and she's just sitting there. And as you reach out and like touch her brain, roll weird for me.
Okay.
I really thought you were going to say something else.
Open your mind to the cosmic maelstrom.
Mickey's not a big touch person.
Oh, good to know.
Oh boy, here we go. Finally rolling
Cool.
the bad numbers. That's a 6.
So, yeah, you can go ahead and mark a point of experience. I'm going to hold a hard move for later in this adventure. I can't imagine how I could possibly come up with something to use that on. And what it is you just get slammed with a vivid image of this skinny, scrawny dude somehow dragging two people bigger than him over the lip into this industrial meat grinder with this mask on his head. And you touch, what's her name? Eliza's brain, as she has this image of just gore and horror, and like you see in her memory that she is screaming, the people around her are screaming. Meanwhile, in the diner, she's sitting there and just
Oh gosh.
just calmly and savoring every bite as this horror runs through her mind.
I have questions
I'm-
for her.
I'm gonna read the medication, see what the doses are, and then ask her to take one of the things just to keep her calm.
Yep.
She apparently looks calm.
Well, yeah, but you wanna just. I'm
You don't
assuming
want that to
in this
go
place
away.
you probably have this multiple per day, so
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna offer her one.
And what you're gonna see me do actually is like I'm mid scoop on a spoon of 'cause it's one of those places. It's a diner. They give you like the cup and they give you the metal thing they stirred it in. So I'm working on that thing. Like I just kind of
Ah,
dropped that. Yeah, I'm like visibly shook to you.
You okay?
She was there when it happened, like right there when it happened.
Did she have just? How do you know that? I mean, I
Trust
assume
me.
she was somewhere nearby if she was taken hostage, but
I know
is
it.
there any? Does she have any helpful information on the topic?
It's a very
Yeah. Let
unique
me.
sound.
I want to ask her. Is this the time to use my third hold? I want to ask her.
I'd do save the hold for later. We might need it later.
I don't know. So I guess I want to ask her more about that day. Tell me what you knew about this Knowles character.
I'll never forget the sound his backbone made as it made contact with the blades of that meat grinder.
Nice.
I can imagine, I tell her, because now I actually can imagine. Did you know
you
him before?
Can't you?
Yes. This might actually be the time to use my third hold. Is
Take
this
some-
person connected to current events more than they are saying?
Well, more than they are saying is tough, because you get this sense that she's being drawn back there, because she definitely pulled this like weird 180, from like, I'm in here because it's safer in here, to like, oh, you want me to relive there? Well, let's just go there. And there's something very uncanny about the way that happened. And the fact that this thing is playing out in her brain so vividly while she sits here and calmly eats a sandwich means that the most truthful answer I can give you is that she's not necessarily connected more than she's saying. She's not involved, but she's being affected more than she realizes.
Interesting.
If that tracks. Is it time to go to the plant now? She says,
Yeah, I think I might want to.
her sandwich, and she has not touched her French fries in the slightest. Just the sandwich.
They
I like-
have some pig fat.
I'd take some of her French fries.
Yeah, they're very.
I order the waitress for a check and get a milkshake to go. And without looking, I just gotta grab one of the pills and I take one myself because like that was crazy. And I wolf it down with like a sip of milkshake. Hopefully
Yes,
this
and,
calms my nerves.
She very readily took the pills that you offered her, Maxwell, and just dry swallowed them, just tossed them in him.
This lady's weird.
Gulped them right on down, yeah. We're going then?
I think we're going, Maxwell.
We better should. Should we call the others?
What time is it?
It's after lunch. We're probably getting 2:00. This guy's settled in at the bar, so it's probably 3 or 4 by now.
Yeah, I say we see if we can find the other two. We could either go get them, or we can just tell them to meet us at the factory.
I say tell them to meet us there. If we get there first, then we can do a bit of investigating before it arrives, rather than arriving way later when it's already about to begin.
Sounds good. Let's head over. Is there? I look at what's her name again?
Eliza.
Eliza, I look at Eliza and say, is there anything we need to get you before we go, or you think you're ready?
I'm prepared. Let's go now.
Go on. Let's head on over.
Wonderful. And she just follows you right along. And you guys were texting to say we're heading to the factory. Have you mentioned your new friend yet?
You know what? I know they like surprises. If there's anything I know about Monster Hunters,
They
they
love a
love
good
surprises.
surprises. Yeah, that's fair. That tracks. I can get behind it. All right, cool.
As we're going, I'm just thinking this is a bad idea.
I'm inside your head for a moment. Yeah, I just kind of look at you and nod.
Probably not the smartest notion that has ever been concocted, but I like it. And we can start. I think you guys can get there first, and you will pull up outside the factory. Fans of the show will recognize it from the cold open with the meat behind there, the barbed wire, the rusting fence. It's in an old rundown industrial neighborhood, so there's like graffiti on the way there, and there's of course someone has like spray painted Razorback lives with like a rough approximation of a pig mask. A little closer to the factory, there's a better one that looks even more lifelike in spray paint on the wall. And as you pull up behind the fence, there are two full-grown hogs. For anyone who's never been on a farm and seen a full-grown hog, they are quite large. The pigs get big, big, big. So there is a pair of them looking out at you from behind the fence. What do you do? Do you want to wait for Joe and Tomer, or?
I don't know. You think, like, are they blocking our path?
No, they would be. The gate is not far from the factory entrance. The pigs would be 10 to 15 feet to the left of that entrance, in front of a series of windows that's broken, and there's some sort of stain against the wall behind them.
Well, it is a pig factory, even though it's been closed. You know, maybe some of the pig farms still back up to it.
I guess. Have they just been living on their own all this time?
I don't know.
Um,
Seems like a bad situation, but
Ooh, yes, if you'd like to read a bad situation, you certainly may.
I think I might like to read this bad situation. And once again, that's a sharp roll, correct?
It is.
yeah.
Buck. No whammy. That'd be a 10 on the sharp roll.
Oh, wow.
So I am going to get
You're going to get to ask 3 questions. About the current
questions.
situation, which is impressive. What would you like to know?
I would like to find what's my not necessarily best way into, like, so we see the entrance, but I want to know what's the best way in to the factory.
Well, you do in fact see the entrance. The pigs are sort of eerily sitting there and just staring at you. But it's fairly clear that the gate, it's like chained, but it's old, big, loose chain. So you should be able to just pull it free enough to shimmy through.
Okay. What is the threat?
What is the biggest threat? You don't really see. You hear something deep inside the factory, some sort of clanging noise that the pigs sort of react to, turning slightly and doing that squealing bit as they shuffle about nervously. So the biggest threat would be deep in the factory.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
Given that you've heard something going on inside of there, you're watching these pigs, and I think you've gotten out of the car at this point to take a closer look. And when it's just one person out of the car, they are just sort of staring at you. When another one comes out, they sort of shy back until another pig comes around the corner, and now there are 3 of them, and they're sort of sitting there again as if they have you outnumbered and feel more confident. So the pigs themselves may present a threat, but only in sufficient numbers, is the most honest answer I can give you to that. And that is the end of the questions that you get, which would be an excellent time for Joe and Tomer to arrive in their SUV. Would you like to bring your drunk along for the medicated party?
Drunk? I don't think so. Are you saying we should?
No, I mean unless she really wants to.
No.
One's enough.
This one might count for 2 or 3 at least on her own.
And I think as you pull up, Eliza is approaching the fence, like, here, piggy, piggy, piggy. Oh, you're a cute little piggy. And to these 3 hulking, like, snorting beasts. What are you guys doing?
Well, we get out of the
I have
SUV with
my
2 gym bags full of butchering equipment made from Damascus steel.
I take out my signature bandolier and I fill it up with
Yes.
kitchen knives.
With kitchen knives? Excellent. Excellent. So you've got
So
this
you've
just
got
whole, like,
a
you
boning
strapped a series
knife.
of sharp things to your chest, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. Before it was spider spray, now it's knives.
A knife spray?
If
I
only.
just like look at him and I'm like, didn't he say that was a vegetable knife?
It's a paring knife, Joe.
Whatever.
Get over this.
It cuts vegetables, it's cut vegetables, not me.
Oh, we're being prepared just in case.
Okay, so Joe like dumps the bag full of meat cleavers, fillet knives, boners, tenderizer, and a meat saw. Pick your weapons, gentlemen. Who's the lady?
Yeah.
Oh, this is I keep forgetting her name.
Eliza.
This is Eliza. She's been here before. She's
She's
actually
by the fence down, like, holding on.
She's
She's got her fingers through it and, like, kneeling
What?
down.
I turn back after like looking at her. I'm like, she's our guide.
Look
was a
past the
terror-
fence.
This was all his idea. I had nothing to do with it. But I do have
Joe-
medication if things go wrong, so we're fine in that department.
Why are there pigs
Okay.
here? Those are pigs there, right?
Well, yeah, we're at a slaughterhouse for pigs, but
Abandoned, right?
yeah, we're not really sure why they're here. But they've been kind of like moving around and like squealing, almost like they're talking to each other.
Are they friendly or aggressive? Like that? Mainly interacting with them?
I mean, they haven't charged or anything.
They're behind the fence,
Okay.
aren't they?
Say,
You
hey,
know, we
Eliza,
told-
step away from that fence.
And she she turns to look at you, and one of the pigs, like, lunges and bites at her hand, and she shrieks. What do you
Well,
do?
that solves your answer. Looks like they are pretty harmful. Pass me one of those meat cleavers.
I pull her away from the fence.
All right. Then she
Toss
comes
him a
back
meat
and she's
cleaver.
clutching her hands, and it looks like it popped one of her fingernails off.
Ooh.
Oh, painful.
She
Well,
lucked
at least
out,
she's
but
still
she
got a finger.
I give her some more medication.
Gosh.
Is there like a dosage for that or something?
Yeah, I hope you read the bottle.
I don't think he
I'm
has
like-
the bottle.
I think I should have
Just like
had
in a
another
Ziploc
drink
bag?
before we headed out. All right, so are we killing these pigs or?
What
Where
did
we
they ever
going?
do? Oh, they did bite though.
I
Yeah, I think this is a good time to kick some pig ass.
Oh,
Is there a
dear.
way of just
Sure.
going around them, avoiding them completely?
Well, they're not at the gate. They're at this portion of the fence 10 feet to the left of the gate. Nobody's
Yeah,
bothered.
we can avoid them.
They look
Yeah, if they're
shifty.
feral pigs, they've probably been,
I think
territorial.
I think as you come running up to pull her free from the fence, the rest of them scatter, and the one that had been biting her goes running off the other direction. 2 of them go left, one of them goes right.
You sure it's wise to let them go free now that they've had a taste of human flesh?
I mean, do you want to go chasing after them, Joe?
Not really. That sounds
Time
more
is it right
comical
now?
than what was that?
Keeper, what time is it right now?
In the evening, it's probably about 5:30,
Oh,
6.
so we have a lot of time before midnight.
Oh yeah, you've got hours to go exploring it, and it's a fairly large factory. So
I think it would be a good idea to get an idea of the surroundings before whatever happens does happen.
Toma, do you have flashlights?
As in
I think-
going outside.
Of
I have a
course.
flashlight.
yeah,
I have goggles.
that's right. You do have your night vision goggles that you acquired from the sporting goods store. Excellent. Yeah, so if you want to go like get a lay of the land, track the perimeter, spend half hour doing that.
Yeah, I would say that
Sure.
Mickey is interested in finding some sort of control room. I imagine a lot of the factories automated. Maybe I can find some sort of way to get the power on.
At least they've had
Ooh.
it disconnected. I mean, it's been 20 years.
Yeah, and let's say so who's all going and doing a track around the perimeter?
Yeah, sure.
Want to go inside?
Tomer's going inside. Mickey, it sounds like you're going to investigate the electric. That's great. Maxwell, what are you doing?
I'll do investigate around the perimeter.
Okay, you'll go with Mickey. Joe,
I
letting
can't
Tomer
leave
go off by himself?
Tomer alone. No, Joe will go and sigh. Follow Tomer, grabbing a meat cleaver and a tenderizer.
I want to go find the spooky meat grinder where all this has been happening.
Sure.
Excellent. And who's watching Eliza?
I'm watching Eliza. I'm
Eliza,
taking special care of Eliza.
Yeah, I think Eliza's coming with us. I
Don't
feel
lock her in the
somewhat
car.
responsible for her.
Okay.
Lock her in the car.
She's not going to stay in the car.
Lock her in the car.
So maybe before we head off, like I reach into the car and get some sort of bandage to tie around her missing fingernail, mostly so she doesn't like keep putting it in her mouth, I guess.
Tastes like pig. Yeah,
We're off.
you guys go tracking around the exterior, and the electric is still hooked up. It looks like somebody's wired it back together.
Interesting.
There is power running into the factory. Other than that, the surrounding buildings are mostly vacant. The one to the north is falling down. It was most recently used as a warehouse for rugs. It smells awful. The others are just empty husks. It's an old abandoned industrial zone. This one's on its way to becoming a husk as well. Tomer, Joe, as you push into the factory itself, there's still a little bit of light coming in through the mostly broken windows. And there's all sorts of old industrial piping and grid work up in the roof. What are you guys looking for? You want to try and find the grinder?
I want to find the grinder.
Okay.
Sure. I just let Tomer run around like a little child in a candy store and follow behind him to make sure he doesn't injure himself.
I'm having my American Beauty moment right now. I'm just like glaring the place.
Sweet. Yeah, and I think you would find the grinder, and as you come up to take a closer look at it, you notice what looks like fresh blood on the wall behind it, and you find the body of a older gentleman in a security guard's uniform.
Oh yeah, that can't be good. I'll check his pockets.
He's got a couple of Werther's original
I'll
butterscotch
hand them
lozenges.
to Tomer. I'll hand them to Tomer.
Here's some snacks. He's got a wallet that would identify him as George Walsh. He's got a set of keys and a pocket
Tomer
knife.
as well. I hand the keys, the Werther's original, the lollies, and I guess the pocket knife to Tomer, and I'll go for the wallet. Any money?
You'll go for what?
I'm gonna steal his money. What's he got?
Is it money? Oh, he's got like $43 cash.
Yeah, I'll put that in my pocket and toss the wallet over to Tomer as well.
All right, and Maxwell, Mickey, was there anything else that you wanted to see or find around the perimeter? You've definitely got a good sense of the layout of the land. There are two other potential entrances to the factory. Would you like to use either of those, or would you wrap back around to the cars and use the back entrance?
Yeah.
Mickey?
So I'm seeing like the power was linked up, and I know that we have some like materials in the car. Maybe there's more, maybe we left some of the knives because we couldn't carry them all inside, or I don't know. Joe, did you take all the knives with you? All that bag of weapons?
I only took a meat cleaver and a meat tenderizer. You guys can grab whatever else you want.
You would have had a chance to have gotten some sort of common knife of whatever sort you want. Feel free.
Well, I'm thinking this might be. I was thinking that this might be a time where I can use what I have here to do some of my weird science.
Cool. What do you want to make?
Well, I want to see if I can't find a way to set up some sort of wireless receiver between the electricity box and my wristwatch thing to see if I can't make some sort of control.
You want to have
like a remote on-off switch.
You want to have a kill switch power to all the machines. Yeah, give me a weird roll.
All right. So that's a 9. So on a 7 to 9, pick one requirement, and you would pick another.
Yep.
It's going to take a long time to get working, so I'll probably have to keep fiddling with it.
Yep, I love that. Okay, it won't work exactly as you intended. So I will get back to you.
Interesting.
I will get back to you on that, and we'll fade out on you sitting there fiddling that with Eliza sort of staring up as Maxwell has gone sneaking in along the back of through one of the back doors into the factory. Or would you have stayed with Mickey?
I would assume he's following and keep going.
Excellent.
Let's split up and look for
Nice.
clues.
Let's split up and look for clues. Yes,
But can I tell Toma just to text the others to let them know we've found a body?
Wait, what?
Text the others and let them know we've found a body. I mean, you're faster.
Oh yeah, sure. So yeah, I'll text them like, "Hey, they're the bodyguard over here. Interested?"
yes, the guard who is now a body.
Yeah.
The
Take a
bodyguard.
photo of him and text them as well.
Oh God!
I'll take a selfie with him just to like show that's proof. Like,
No.
hey,
Hey,
guy.
he's dead. Okay, and we're going to. I think it's best if Maxwell, as you come in, you're pushing your way through this hallway, and it's a hallway that Joe would probably recognize because she had this weird vision of it. And as you're partway through, and it's dark, but are you using your night vision goggles or do you have your flashlight?
I'll be using night vision goggles. It's dark.
Okay, so everything's cast in this weird and like messed up light, and you hear behind you some pig grunting. And you turn and there's nothing there. And when you turn back around, and where there had been some light coming in at the end of this hallway, there is now a very large figure. Like the NFL wants this person for a linebacker. This is, as a goalie in football, he takes up half of the fucking net, kind of like massive, big, backlit thing.
This episode edited by Chris, music produced by Dora. For a full list of all participants in Untitled Dice Game, along with their roles, characters that they may play, and social media, visit untitleddicegame.com. For the latest news, follow us on Twitter at UntitledDice. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. Bye-bye!